Hello and welcome to Detroiters Think Big, a small business podcast presented by the Detroit Regional Chamber and Rocket Mortgage. I am your host, Devin O'Reilly, Director of Entrepreneurship at the Detroit Regional Chamber. My guest today is Tre Hobbs. He's the founder and CEO of Neighborhood Essentials. Welcome, Tre.
Man, it's good to be here. Thanks for having me.
It's great to have you. I love that you got the swag, the hat.
Oh,
We have these on video, so might as well represent. Start get some branding out there.
exactly.
So yeah, let's jump into it. Let's start at the beginning, where any good story does. So, you're from the area. Tell me a little bit about kind of your upbringing.
True, yeah. I was born and raised in Detroit on the east side of the city. I'm from 7 Mile and Van Dyke. My upbringing was just like any other kid, really in the inner city in Detroit. It was rough. You feel me? It was a lot of violence, a lot of poverty. I seen it all. It was rough, but we made the best of it like we could. Yeah.
And I understand you were a pretty good football player.
Yeah, yep. I started playing football when I was 6. Pretty much football was like my scapegoat. That's what I used pretty much to, get out the city. I used that to pretty much, I wanted to use football as a way to get back to my community and also get my family out of there. Had the opportunity to play college ball, had the opportunity to go pro for a little bit, end up getting hurt. And after I got hurt, I couldn't bounce back from the injury. So then I just had to pretty much figure out what I wanted to do after that.
And you
So,
came across was kind of the cannabis industry field. Was that kind of the first thing you came into, or did you have a couple different things that you tried before that?
no, smaller stuff like worked another, that's like a normal, 9 to 5 job and stuff, but that never really been me. I'm not really just me personally, I'm not really that good at it. So, I've been around weed, cannabis, flower my entire life. I watched this song from the base, so like from the basement all the way up to like the corner, like grown and everything. It's always been a part of my life. So I was like, what's another way I can, create generational wealth, put my family in a better position, but also give back to the community. And that was weed, that was cannabis. I feel like it's just a good way to give back because it can speak to the people, and it's also a way better, healthy alternative than like pills and like alcohol, and I'm all for that.
Yeah, for sure. So talk about, I mean, you kind of alluded to it with what you're saying about you've been around it all your life.
Mhm.
When did that kind of change? Like, so obviously, you were exposed to it, you experienced it early on in your life. When did it kind of click in your brain like this can be a business? I mean, did you always think like that, or did something happen where you're like, no, I see the business potential here?
I mean, I seen the business part of it just growing up. I seen the money that was coming in. I seen what it can do. But I would say, yeah, it was around like after the injury, I can't say no names, but a lot of the players and stuff that I was around, like that's in the NFL currently, were talking about it. They were getting into the industry and stuff. I hit up a few of them that I know, was just talking to them about it. And I was like, yeah, this is what I'm gonna get into. I started doing my research. I did a lot of research on it. Then I ended up taking a trip to the West Coast. I went everywhere where it was legal at. I was there building connections, just networking with people from hippies all the way up to like legislators. Like I was just talking to everybody I could and getting to know and just learning the industry.
And
So
then obviously the legislation here changed, and that was good.
yeah,
That gave you a lot more opportunity.
yeah, exactly. Like I knew it was coming, and then once it came, I was like, it's time. I was just preparing for the moment. So that's pretty much what I was
Yeah.
waiting on. Yeah.
So talk to me about Neighborhood Essentials. I know you have some specific goals around that and what you're looking to do with Neighborhood Essentials. So talk a little bit about that, about your company.
Yeah, for sure. Neighborhood Essentials, like on the surface, yeah, it's a cannabis brand. We got a dispensary and a cultivation coming online in Detroit, and we also about to drop flower this spring in California and 3 different cities in California. But it's bigger than that. You feel me? Like it's a lot bigger than that. Like my roots and the roots of this brand and the people I work with is like really deeply embedded into the community and making sure our voices get heard. It's a voice for the unheard. It's a, I look at it as like it's like a beacon of hope. It's showing people you look like me, you come from where I come from, but you can do it too. You know what I'm saying? Like we belong in this industry. We suffered, I mean, the most. I mean, I was raised on the east side of Detroit. I seen true definition of the war on drugs and how it impacted us. So pretty much this is a way to give back to the community. That's what I want people to think about it first. Like, yeah, we deliver good, good weed to people, but it's also we here for the people. Like it's made by the people for the people. Like education, empowerment, all of that is gonna be a part of this. Like I really want to spark the next generation of minority cannabis business owners. And that's what this is.
For sure. So, I mean, talk a little bit about what you've experienced as the double standard between maybe someone who looks like me who's getting into the cannabis industry and someone who looks like you who's getting into the cannabis industry. We're not treated the same, are we?
Oh no, not at all. Yeah, it's a huge difference.
Yeah, I mean,
That's for
it's the
sure.
truth. Speak to it.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. No, I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah, it's the truth. I mean, I go into a room, full of white people, white men predominantly, and they looking at me like, what you mean? Like, what corner you came from? Like, what you in here for? It's automatic. They thinking less of me because I look how I look. But then once I get in there and get to talking to people and what I accomplish, then it's a whole different story. But I mean, that's just something I've always had to deal with. I mean, when I went off to college, it was kind of the same thing. It's just what it is. And then it's just on a bigger scale now. But I mean, yeah, I've been turned down for some stuff just because of this. I mean, but I also like it too because I don't want those type of people around me. So it's just, you know what I'm saying? So it's rough,
Yeah.
but you got to keep pushing.
Yeah, for sure. So, talk about your operation now. You mentioned the dispensary. Do you have like a physical brick and mortar, or what does the operation look like?
So the brick and mortar, I have a physical location that's coming. I can't disclose none right now, but that's coming. Got a nice location and stuff set, uh, as well for the cultivation. That's what's coming to Detroit. We really want to keep stuff in home, having to grow and having to cultivate like the retail in the city for the city. That's big. That's for sure.
So you'll have the cultivation and the retail space all in the same area on one site,
Yep.
or
Yeah. Yeah. Probably not one site, but they'll be in the same area.
gotcha. Okay. And in Detroit for sure, right?
Yeah, in Detroit. That's for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Very
Right
cool.
in the city.
And can you say, I mean, I'm sure it's still probably maybe in process, but can you say like what the timeline is when you're looking to open?
Um, for the dispensary, looking at sometime this summer. That's what we're looking at. Just depending on or fall, just depending on how
Hmm.
they work this stuff for like opening it up and all this stuff. It's just a lot of it's a process. I mean, definitely when a lot of the stuff is like out of our control, it's just waiting. So, but we aiming for sometime this summer.
Okay. Very cool. And you mentioned, but I want to get you to
Hmm.
speak to a little more the interest in diversity around the marijuana industry. What do you, I guess, what do you want to say to up and coming, youth or people who might have experienced cannabis in one way just in their lives? Kind of what is your message for turning that into a business and getting your mindset to think about it not as just something you enjoy to do, but something that you can actually, you know, make
Yeah.
legitimate money in?
I mean, first thing I want to say is, I mean, like you can do it. I mean, this is real. Like it's out here. Like you can get into this industry. If you grew up a part of what we call the legacy market, from growing to selling or anything like that, your skills is needed in this industry. I mean, you are a business yourself with what you're already doing. Now is just a perfect time to capitalize on like your talents and really get into this industry. Because I mean, that's what we need. We need more, black growers, more minority like owners. We need all of that. It's a must. I want people, but I'm like a couple things like I wish I would have known though, like just going through this whole process. I mean, you go feel every emotion. You will get hit with every type of emotion going through this. It's just what it is. It just come with it. But you got to keep pushing through it. So that's what I've been on, just keep pushing through it. And then just know like when you equity, since I'm a social equity applicant, I got a lot of people that want to get their hands in on stuff and stuff like that. But and a lot of people, you got to know your own wealth, like within yourself, because a lot of people try to take advantage of you, make you seem like you less just because you like equity and you're a minority. But you got a right to be in those rooms talking with those people. You got a right to like leverage your equity. You got a right to this. Like you was the one born in these harsh environments. So like you got a right to it, and don't let people like make you seem like you less than what you actually are. And I had to learn that through this, because where I come from, I mean, we ain't taught to value ourselves. It's the complete opposite. So I had to, it was just it's like learning a new language. But I mean, shoot,
Yeah.
that's what it is.
Has the overall, I mean, there's a growing cannabis industry in Michigan and Detroit. How have you found that? Have you been able to make some partnerships, start to forge some good relationships with other people who are doing similar things to you?
Yeah, I done had conversations with a lot of people who get ready to come online in Detroit. People coming from the legacy market getting in on it. I'm connected with a few micro so that's about to go up in Grand Rapids. Some people out in Lansing. It's like my whole thing on what I'm working on, and even like it's bigger than even just the city. What we doing is working on a pipeline throughout this entire country of minority cannabis business owners, where we pretty much embedded in every aspect of the industry. So once things go, it's gonna get federal. Like we all be able to help each other out, keep the stuff going. It's like it's a whole big picture to all this that's going on. Like it's a big picture. So
That's really cool. But Detroit, I mean, do you see Detroit as a good up and coming market for cannabis?
cannabis will be a new auto industry for Detroit. It's gonna bring in resources and that money. It's gonna bring in more opportunities for people. It's gonna really the state of the community. It's gonna really help. It's already a lot of people motivated right now to get into the industry and just excited that it's even coming there. And Detroit is gonna be a huge hub. You ain't gonna be able to bring up like cannabis anywhere in the nation and not mention Detroit for sure.
Well, that's exciting. I mean, so let me speak from two different kind of angles, and hopefully, some of the people who listen to this podcast, from the government and
Mhm.
legislation side of things. Obviously, there's been
Yeah.
some legislation that's been passed that's been helpful to the industry. What do you still need? What does the industry and people like you still need from local government to help make it easier for you to do business?
Man, they need to lower them taxes for sure. They need to turn down on them taxes. We need that need to get relooked at. We need more funding for, equity applicants and stuff like that, more resources for equity applicants, because at the end of the day, I mean, yeah, we got our equity, but it's still kind of setting us up for failure if you got this equity and stuff like that. You don't got the money, or you don't even know how to run a business or a corporation or how to get stuff started, and you just left empty-handed. The next thing you know, you take a bad deal from an investor, and you just pretty much got bullied out of everything. You ain't got nothing no more. So it's just them taxes, and then just creating funds for equity, and then also like education opportunities for equity. Like we need that. So.
Okay. And then how about from the business community? You talked about there's a good tight knit cannabis industry community. What about kind of the traditional business community that's here? Are there opportunities for something mutually beneficial, where if they invested in this or if they got involved, this would be good for their business too?
I mean, yeah, like with what neighborhood essentials, what we doing? I mean, we doing a lot of community work. You get what I'm saying? Like, if you want to get back to the community and help minorities and help like flip all of this systematic stuff that's been set up, get involved. Like, we doing community like cleanups, we doing food drives, toy drives. Like, I'm bringing education courses, letting people tour the facility, incubator programs. People want to get into the industry, I'm gonna show you how. Like, we doing all that. So just donating resources and stuff, and just like I said, just getting involved to help really clean up the community. I mean, I feel like that's beneficial to everybody in the city. We all want a better environment and a cleaner place. We want to help flip things. So
For sure. So how, the last year has been really rough for pretty much everybody in one way or another. So
hmm
how has business been, and how have things changed in the last year with the pandemic?
I mean, it was a change, because I mean most stuff went virtual, and then the time and everything is delayed right now. So that pretty much put a halt on a lot of stuff when it comes to packaging or certain deliveries and stuff like that. But I mean, overall, I think this time, I mean, it sucks, but it's also, I mean, it helped out with a lot of things. I mean, I think this time it sucked that people passed away and everything like that. But like, if you're lucky enough to still be pushing during this time, it's a time to like self-reflect on business and everything. Like now, I'm able to really communicate with the community and make sure that I address the needs and everything that they need. Like, yeah, packaging and stuff slowed down, but now I can really hone in on what's needed for the community and what everybody looking for. it's just a better sense of like communication and stuff right now amongst like people. So I think people should take a full advantage of it. And it was a time where we can really get our ideas and get everything out. That's like you don't normally do when you live in everyday fast paced and stuff how it was before stuff shut down. You don't have time to really think about yourself and what you stuff like that. So like business kind of, I mean, it's been booming. I mean, everybody go smoke weed regardless. I mean, the cannabis industry still
Has
booming. People gotta have it.
demand for the product
Yeah,
increased
demand,
last
yeah, definitely increased. Like it's needed. I mean, it's a medicine. It's needed for people. People need to heal. That's what this can do.
year? Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, it's going through the roof. Everything increasing.
So tell me a little bit about the specific products. You know, what's selling well, what's doing good. You know, what products do you have that, you know, you want to talk about?
Shoot, so what we doing is like in Cali, my launch in Cali, like I'm doing eighths, 3.5s of weed flower. And I'm also doing pre-rolls, real good quality, top quality like cannabis. My whole thing is I'm big on sustainability. I'm big on like, no pesticides and really like putting clean stuff into our bodies. So I want to make sure that when people smoke my stuff, they getting that clean, like euphoric high. Like the terp profiles on my stuff is like through the roof. I'm focusing on that flavor, that taste, and that the healing aspect of the of the weed or the flower. Than just like, rushing everything. It's a process. Like I treat it, I treat it like a woman. You got to treat her good, take care of her, make sure everything's straight with her. So that's the same with that. When people smoking, I want them to feel good, and that's what the pre-rolls and in the flower.
Okay.
So and then also merch too. So
For sure. So, let's from the perspective of somebody who may be listening to this, who maybe wants to dabble, wants to kind of get into cannabis more. What do
mhm.
you recommend as like kind of a starter, as kind of get your feet wet?
Shoot. So first, I gotta shout out this program that helped me out a lot. It's called This Is Our Dream. Like our academy is ran by a woman named Hillary Yu. Um, I have people definitely reach out to that program because they teach is set up for minorities, for equity, people who wasn't born into money who want to get into this. It's set up for us, and it just teach you everything about equity and what you need to do. It like that's the best. That's the best thing that helped me out so far. But then also doing your own research. You know what I'm saying on stuff. Depending on what aspect of the industry you're trying to get into, but do your own research on a lot of stuff. Like you hear something, just don't go off what you hear. Back it up. Do your own research. Start learning the industry. Humble yourself. Start learning from an outside perspective. Take a second seat and just humble yourself and just start learning. Research, research, and research as much as you can. I'm still researching because I'm still learning.
Yeah.
So that's yeah.
What are your plans for the next year and beyond? Where do you want to take Neighborhood Essentials?
Man, we going nationwide. Nationwide. I want a neighborhood essentials everywhere that is legal. And I want it to be a well-established, weed brand, cannabis brand on top of being for the community. We got a neighborhood essentials in LA, so we doing community work in LA too. We got a neighborhood essentials in Oregon, we doing community work in Oregon. You know what I'm saying? It's just a worldwide, like a countrywide, this connection. That's that's what's coming.
Are you now locally in Detroit, obviously? Are you partnering with anybody on the community work, any nonprofits or organizations?
I'm working on that actually right now. I've been talking to the city and stuff a lot with just they got the sustainability program. I've been talking to who else I've been talking to? I don't know if I should mention it. With the Detroit Means Business, we working on some stuff with what the city need and everything, and then a few others I can't mention right now.
Sure. Are you looking for more partners?
Yeah, always. Yeah, always. I'm
All
always
right.
looking.
So social, I imagine you probably got a social media presence. How can people find out and connect with you on social media?
Yeah, so the brand Instagram is Neighborhood Essentials, all together, one word. And then mine is neighborhood.tre. And then the website is neighborhoodessentials.co. And that's where you can find me and the business, everything.
Now, how does that can you actually purchase product online?
No, you can't. You can. No, you can't purchase like any like weed products online. No, you can't do that. But it's we getting ready to launch like the apparel and everything like that. You'll be able to purchase that online, and that's coming this spring.
Okay, very cool. And then we'll know more soon about where your physical space is going to be.
Yeah, yep, yeah. that's coming. Yeah, I'll start revealing information on that, but not just right this second. Nah.
All right. Well, it'd be exciting. If you follow you on social media, I'm sure that's a good way to find out, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah. Follow me on social media for sure.
All right. Awesome. Well, it was really great to talk to you. Any parting words?
All I got to say is if you're trying to get into it, this the time, get into it. If you're trying to learn about it, hit me up. I mean, I'm open. I mean, we can work together on this. It's enough out here for everybody. So that's all I got to say.
For sure. Definitely opportunities to collaborate,
Mhm.
opportunities to partner. Again, if we're working on making this better, and
Yeah.
rising tide lifts all boats. So let's do it
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, for
All
sure.
right. Thanks so much, Trey. Thanks for being here. We're really looking forward to what you've got coming in the future.
Man, appreciate it. Thanks for having me, for real.